Well, welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022, and we are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Hello, and thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the partnership between Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots Magazine. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and we bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our community.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, Al Ferguson. Let's welcome anchor FayWhat. She is a radio and television personality and has a popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L and the G together. She's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate, and owner of Fay's Fur Family. Also, make sure to catch the FayWhat Show, the first LGBTQ plus morning show in the world, Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern, online, or better yet, on your smart television. Good evening, Fay.
Good evening, boys. So happy to be here. Super amped up after yesterday's State of the Union address. Can't wait to talk about it. And Ukraine, we stand with you. Next up, let's welcome anchor John Hayden. John's been a journalist for 27 years and now works for several South Florida outlets, including SFGN, covering politics, arts, and the bar scene. Mostly for the latest on happy hours, of course. He spent much of his career covering the stupidity and scandals of Hollywood and interviewed nearly every big name in TV, movies, and music. John considers the time that he had to sit and interview Shirley MacLaine after she yelled at him as the scariest 4 minutes of his life. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Faye. It's so good to see you tonight. Next, let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro. He's an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 8 books, including his latest, Fear of Muse, which I don't get. I've interviewed Muse several times, and they're great and polite to.
They don't scare anybody?
Oh, Muses. Oh, that makes more sense then. He's also an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and music reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ plus and mainstream publications and websites. His movie review column called Screensaver, SAVOR, can be found in South Florida Gay News, what? San Francisco's Bay Area Reporter, RottenTomatoes.com, and more. Good evening, Gregg.
Happy National Banana Cream Pie Day. We are the reporters.
It's going to be one of those shows, just to let you know.
We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight. And this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the Queer News for today, Wednesday, March 2nd.
Well, let's begin by queering up the USA. State of the LGBTQ union. Biden tells trans kids for a second year, I've got your back. Watch this.
And folks, for our LGBTQ plus Americans, let's finally get the Bipartisan Equality Act to my desk. The onslaught of state laws targeting transgender Americans and their families, it's simply wrong. And I said last year, especially to our younger transgender Americans, I'll always have your back as your president so you can be yourself and reach your God-given potential.
Well, last night, President Biden presented his State of the Union address, and in the speech, he discussed issues with infrastructure, immigration, and health care, of course, Ukraine. But he also called for the Bipartisan Equality Act to be passed by the U.S. Senate. One very special guest who was able to watch the State of the Union virtually was Sunny Bryant, an 8-year-old transgender girl who has been fighting against Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Under a directive from Abbott made last week, Sunny's parents now face child abuse charges if they give her puberty blockers to assist in the transition to the gender she identifies with.
Wow, what an incredible State of the Union address. And how different was it than last times, than with Trump, you know? So the State of the Union address was 1 hour and 1 minute, and I was glued to that TV set for the whole entire time. Yeah, he talked about infrastructure, but I felt like he was talking to us. You know, my favorite part definitely has to be, though, when he talked about the 13 troops that had died when we pulled out of Afghanistan. Of course, one of our favorite people, the Republican Lauren Boebert, she screamed out, they died because you put them there, right? And so then, of course, somebody else like, get her out of here, kick her out. Nobody got kicked out, but I was sure hoping so.
Yeah.
I didn't want her kicked out. I just wanted her tased. My favorite moment of the night came when Faye started texting me screenshots of hot congressmen sitting in the audience.
Oh my, I can't believe he's saying that. Look, you know, the great thing about happening out television is that we all become friends here because we spend so much time together. You know, we spend time with each other more than we do with our own friends. So I'm watching this and I'm texting John because it's really hot guy, and I'm like, he's got to be Republican. And then he's sending me back, yeah, he's shifty, he's Republican for sure. Then I'll take another screenshot of someone and then send it to him. He's like, oh, he's hot, Democrat. Yeah, we're good. So if he was a Democrat, it'd be okay.
And,
you know?
and to the point of your story, which is so true, I was sitting there watching the State of the Union, and those text pictures that Oh, wait.
You didn't get it.
Oh, wait.
Oh, how mean. Well, and once again, we have to say thank you to President Biden. I mean, that's really important. And that first picture, was that Frau Ferguson or was that Amy Coney Barrett? I wasn't sure. And shouldn't those blow-up dolls, MTG and Lauren Boebert, shouldn't they be giving handies out in the parking lot?
You know,
what are they doing there?
Ooh, that's painful. And literally,
handies.
literally, that's painful. You know, my favorite moment, and I hope it lasts. I really do, honestly, hope it lasts. There was a lot of bipartisan cooperation at the State of the Union last night. It wasn't overly rambunctious one way or the other. There was some even measured. The Republicans don't stand up, the Democrats do. Okay, we've gotten, and vice versa, it goes both ways depending on who's giving the speech. But I thought that the issues of the first 15 minutes was all Ukraine. And I think all of the yellow and blue in the Capitol and all of the support that came in a bipartisan way of showing support of America for what's going on in the Ukraine was beautiful. I thought the moment of recognizing the chief representative for the Ukrainian delegation by the president was a beautiful moment, and the First Lady hugging her. And you could tell I'm overwhelmed at the response, because I never even thought I would be in this room, much less having the support and recognition of my country that I represent. And I thought that was a highlight moment of the entire event. Yeah.
And I thought it was just so spectacular to see Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris behind him for the whole thing. And we're so used to watching Trump and then Nancy Pelosi behind like this.
Yes.
We're like ripping up stuff.
I was going to say, we got through with no speech being ripped up.
And she's there in it, happy. Like, she even looked younger. It was crazy.
And I'm not sure, but I think Nancy's gotten a little bit of work.
Didn't she look younger? No, it's because Trump is gone. No, Nancy, it's not any work. And if it is work, tell me who did it.
It looked good. Exactly.
We'll see how often Steve Scalise stands up next year when he's the speaker.
Yeah, right. Way to bring us down, John. Way to bring us down.
I'm here for it. But we move on and we queer up South Florida gay news. Safe Schools South Florida continues to fight Don't Say Gay. And this is a story we've been following for weeks. The march of the Don't Say Gay bill towards becoming law. While it may be inevitable, the LGBTQ plus community isn't being quiet. On Monday, I reported right here and on for SFGN that the company that agreed to fly banner planes with the message, "Defeat Don't Say Gay," backed out less than 24 hours before a planned rally against the bill. A Fly Signs employee texted a rally organizer, quote, "We're doing $8 million a year there and don't want to piss off any potential clients that have a problem with that phrase for a one-time flight." Now, end quote. By potential clients, I infer that he means narrow-minded, right-wing, conservative bigots who may want to advertise their low-rent strip club one day. Safe Schools, who organized the rally, found another banner plane company who actually did fly the message over several large South Florida high schools. Last night's rally on Miami Beach went on as planned and was a success, according to Safe Schools Executive Director and Happening Out contributor Scott Galvin. You are seeing some of the pictures of this on the screen right now. Today, Galvin and supporters boarded a bus to Orlando to demand that Disney take a stand against Don't Say Gay. They also released this ad. Watch this.
Disney, where do you stand when our youth needs you most? The rights of families in Florida are under attack. The hateful Don't Say Gay bill is threatening our children's security. It's 2022. Kids need knowledge. Depriving them of this is wrong. Corporations are more than their products. They are their values. Disney, you must speak out now and fight back against this discrimination. Publicly oppose the Don't Say Gay bill because the happiest place in the world must have a place for every child.
Now, from gay days to gay appearing characters, and yes, I'm looking at you, Captain Hook, we generally have a positive impression of Disney. So why put them on blast? Well, they've been notably silent in this debate, and Galvin says, quote, "It's great to be a leader in the easy times. It's another when things are rough and the community needs the support of a juggernaut." You can read my entire story in this week's SFGN online and on stands tomorrow.
So John, so Scott Galvin basically filled a bus and now is on their way up to Orlando, you were saying, to protest there in front of Disney World?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, the protest, it's about a little after 8 right now. So yeah, probably just wrapped up. They left about 1 o'clock this afternoon to head up to Orlando, and we're going to protest out there for like another dusk rally like they did last night in Miami Beach.
Well, first off, I congratulate you and South Florida Gay News. It's very important for our community here to have the in-depth reporting that you're doing and SFGN is doing. And we're very proud to have you here for this story. And you've carried the banner for weeks now, which I appreciate. You know, it's interesting to me about the banner, first off. This company probably has made a big mistake in turning it down because it's going to cost them significantly in terms of this is going to spread now organically and in a viral way, and it's going to harm them and it's going to cost them money. The other thing I think is interesting on Disney, do any of us think Disney is a discriminatory organization? No, of course
really,
not.
no.
It's the largest gay employer in the world. But what this shows is really the ugly side of big corporate America, because they are contributing to Republican candidates. They're not voicing opposition to terrible bills like Don't Say Gay, and it's a reflection of their hedging bets for their business structure. It doesn't mean that they're discriminatory in any way. There's probably, 12,000 LGBT
Gays.
employees there in Orlando. It's really disappointing that Disney just can't say, we flatly reject this.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no more to discuss. This is wrong. Disney can't seem to do that. And it takes a voice like Safe Schools South Florida to call them out on it, or AHF, who helped fund that commercial, to call them out on it. And they should be called out on it. Should.
They appear to be frozen.
Oh,
And
God.
they should be enchanted and engaged.
Oh, my God. All right,
Unfortunately, their stance is tangled.
Oh, my God, boy.
Please
Stop
stay,
it.
hurry.
Oh, my
Quickly.
God, listen.
Let's get to some culture.
Disney, your silence is deafening, all right? We hope to hear from you.
Right.
Next, let's queer up gay culture. A new report shows wide disparity of acceptance depending which letter of LGBTQIA you are. A new study in Ireland has shown that the opinion of the LGBTQ plus populace varies depending on what part of the community a person belongs to. The report, published by NXF, the National LGBT Federation, which campaigns for the equal rights of the LGBT plus community in Ireland and internationally, said there were clear disparities in attitudes towards different LGBT plus communities. The study showed that gay men and women were generally viewed favorably. However, those who identify as trans, non-binary, or intersex had much lower rates of acceptance. The report said, quote, there is evidence that prejudice towards these specific communities is rooted in norms regarding gender being binary, a norm that lesbian women and gay men are not seen as violating to the same extent, end quote.
Well, acceptance begins at home. And we also go after different parts of the acronym in there. I mean, why isn't it TBGAILQ? I think that's a legitimate question. And we were at an event. I don't think you were with me at the time. We were at Hollywood Pride, and I was talking with someone, and I said the BGL community, and the guy goes, "No, it's LGBT." And I'm like, why? Why is it? So until we start like getting away from those types of things and embracing everything here, we can't expect it from the broader community.
Point. And just for historical clarification, there are many, I have heard this many, many times, there are many gay men that say, wait, the community is the GLBT.
That's how it started years ago.
It started as G,
right.
and their point is, well, the radical need for women in our community actually reversed
crazy to involve women. Woohoo!
Well, I think it's also interesting because I certainly view straight people, especially those with still rooted in their gender being binary norms. I mean, come on, let's move on.
I never thought of it that way though. But like once that's that story. I mean, I think that they only had like 700 people that they spoke to. I get it. That's not a really concise, statement to know. But that does make sense to me. Okay, like that's why it wasn't. They're not questioning the gender issues, and that's why they're more accepted. I mean, it doesn't make it fair or good by any means at all.
You know, when I knew that we were doing this story today, they're talking about the acceptance outside of the LGBTQ plus community, that they're accepting gay men and they're accepting lesbian women because of the binary nature of their sexual orientation, and they don't extend that even to bisexuals or to trans, especially intersex, etc. But it's interesting to me because I would be willing to suggest, and we have talked about it many times at Queer News Tonight in reporting, that the exact same thing happens in our community. Gay men reject frequently, not all of course, but frequently reject trans or intersex or other types of representation in our community because it's not a gay man. Or women reject
the T, and we're both women. Which blows my mind every single time I hear someone say something stupid like that.
That's what this study reveals, is that it's a rejection outside of the community, but it's also a rejection in our community.
Right. Yeah. Next week, we're up education. New study shows differences of gay men versus straight men excelling academically.
Hell yeah.
We smart.
A new paper published in the peer-reviewed American Sociological Review is bringing new light to how growing up gay appears to affect the academic performance of males versus females. Joel Middleman, a University of Notre Dame sociologist and the paper's sole author, found that on an array of academic measures, gay males outperform all other groups on average across all major racial groups. Conversely, he concluded that lesbians perform more poorly in school overall. And
why are you looking at me?
And the gay women have a much lower college graduation rate than their white counterparts. The study indicates this could be because of ingrained racial and sexual stereotypes projected onto the students by teachers. It has been noted that gay women, in particular lesbians of color, tend to be disproportionately singled out for school discipline and are overrepresented in juvenile correctional facilities.
This is a stupid study. Yeah, maybe I got in trouble a couple times in school. Maybe I was in juvie, but that doesn't mean anything. And maybe I might be a lesbian. So maybe the study's right. I don't know.
I bet you were very popular in juvie.
Yes, you were. You're right.
And now straight men are
It's called running the girls, is what it's called.
In all seriousness, though, I mean, it's no newsflash that white males are systemically advantaged. That's not news. But this study, I think, is going to highlight and show that the problem is more than just anecdotally what we think about and what we talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think very interesting in the author's study report conclusion is that it may be, he's making a supposition, that it may be because of stereotypes that are ingrained from teachers. Because I read a lot on this actually yesterday when this news came out. It's interesting to me because through the years, junior high school, college, I was very popular with my teachers. And I was very popular with my teachers because I was one of those students that had curiosity. And because I was always curious, they came right along with me. And then I thought about this study, and I believe that white privilege combined with my interest in learning advantaged me over somebody that might be black or Latino or a woman or even other gay men, because I was interested, and therefore the teacher is working harder in partnership with the student that was interested in what the teacher was doing. And as a result, I'm going to be generally perceived as a better academic student than a counterpart in some other area. So the study resonates with me in accuracy, but it's also the springboard of what we've got to change.
Yeah.
We have to change it, because I should have no more advantage than you, and I should have no more advantage than a black gay or straight male or woman or trans person, etc. It's an ingrained racism and attitudinal that even our teachers is what he is suggesting happens. And that rings true to me, unfortunately.
And it will stay that way, Al, because if we continue to not be able to teach in our schools black and brown history and women's history and stuff like that, then we're going to continue to be this way. Or say gay or make people uncomfortable, then this is going to continue to be this way.
And for the record, the guy that did the study was white, just for the record.
Yeah.
What a surprise. By golly.
Well, yeah. Moving on, we queer up trans rights. Texas Governor Abbott investigates family for child abuse over trans health care support. And now the ACLU is suing. Watch this.
Last week, Texas Governor Gregg Abbott announced that essential, life-saving, gender-affirming medical care would be considered child abuse in Texas. Investigations into loving families have already begun. Today, we filed in court to stop this. This policy is vast government overreach. It is opposed by medical experts and child welfare experts. Loving families across Texas are terrified. This is part of a national effort to attack and criminalize trans young people. But this isn't about safety. This isn't about protection. This is about trying to stop people from being trans. This care saves lives. It saves my life. And we will never stop defending trans young people and the people who love and care for them.
Now, Texas Governor Gregg Abbott, who, by the way, is not a doctor, last week directed the state's Department of Family and Protective Services to begin investigating parents of children who are undergoing hormone treatments or gender-affirming surgery for child abuse. The Texas ACLU and Lambda Legal have filed a lawsuit to stop those investigations. In the lawsuit, filed Tuesday in Travis County Court in Texas, the ACLU and Lambda represent an employee of the Department of Family and Protective Services with a trans child, as well as her husband and the teen herself, all of whom are remaining anonymous. An investigator has already come to the family's house and, according to the suit, has demanded the medical records that the family refuses to turn over. And good for them. I hope that, I'm sorry that this teen's going to have to go through it, but at the same time, it's going to take going to court, and someone has to be it, and I wish them the best of luck.
But no family should have to go through this for supporting their child.
Yeah.
You know, do you understand that the woman in question is going to lose her job now, okay? She is right now being, she's not dismissed, but she's suspended, okay, without pay. The husband is also being looked at. Their livelihoods are in question right now because of this whole entire lawsuit. You know, they might not have the livelihood to be able to take care of their child now after this, you know?
That is the entire point. Governor Abbott is implementing this policy to say you won't stand up to the heavy hand of the state. And so as a result, you will capitulate to my attitude because you won't be willing to risk your jobs, you won't be willing to risk your security and all of the related issues. And if ACLU and through the courts is not successful, and very likely most in the know are saying it won't stand. but how many lives will be destroyed before we get to that conclusion? And the Supreme Court says, are you kidding? You can't do this. But how many lives get destroyed first?
And Beto O'Rourke, Texas needs you now more than ever.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, interesting to me that the implementation of Governor Abbott's policy that he is implementing, among the first people it targets is a representative that is a career Department of Family and Protective Services employee that knows more about the issue of what happens to children in families that are inappropriately distressing children and child abuse. They know the best, and they're among the first people that Governor Abbott goes after. It's really, really, really despicable.
Well, and it's not an accident.
Oh no!
He is sending a notice to this agency.
That's my point. And interesting, we reported yesterday in Queer News Tonight 5 district attorneys that would implement an investigatory process have said, we are absolutely not going to enforce what the governor is saying to do because it is unconscionable to do what you're asking us to do. So therefore we won't. We hope that more district attorneys in Texas will do the exact same thing.
I believe this is an end around though, Al, because I think this is in one of the counties where the DA said we won't do it. But it's not the DA. It's the he's having the department investigate it itself, which is a way of cutting out that middleman. Scum.
Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We're broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine in supporting that partnership. Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
Hey everybody, I'm Brandon James from America's Got Talent, and Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
Well, we're going to finish tonight's queer news headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus Flash News. In LGBTQ plus Flash News, it's Ash Wednesday, and the party is over. What is LGBTQ plus giving up? Sorry folks, the party is over. Yesterday was Fat Tuesday, and for those who don't know the origins, Mardi Gras is the last day before Lent. The 40 days of Lent represent the 40 days that Jesus spent fasting in the desert. And during that time, the holy give up all indulgence. In modern times, most of us are not so holy. Most people only give up one vice for the month, such as chocolate or alcohol. Faye, sex, maybe sex.
Nope.
Or mostly common, or commonly, nothing at all. And we only say we did. Faye? Okay. For those of you who are religious, or even if you're the kind of person who only goes to church on holidays, we remind everyone that the live Ash Wednesday services here at Sunshine Cathedral began at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can watch it on their Facebook or their YouTube live. And of course, you can watch it in Roku and Apple Television with Happening Out Television Network, or on demand at any time you'd like. For those of you who worship, we hope you have an easy fast. Many of us here in the cast will be communing with different kinds of spirits tonight at the most holy of gay spaces, the bar. See you all later at La Boy here in Fort Lauderdale. It's an exciting time, and do I miss Mardi Gras? I've been to Mardi Gras. I'm a member of Harry Connick's crew. Yes, and have ridden in many Mardi Gras parades, and I watched the television and just miss so many friends in New Orleans.
Lent, I'm giving up cursing.
Child.
We'll see how that goes. Check back in with me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Check back with her at the end of the show.
I was going to say, we got about 3 minutes. Let's see.
I am going to give up keto because there were loaves, so Jesus wants me to have bread. I'm giving up Russian caviar, not because of the invasion, but because I have allergies. And I'm also going to give up being so nice to Republicans, because really they don't deserve it.
Okay, there we go.
I'll be watching the 1973 Elizabeth Taylor movie Ash Wednesday, in which she co-starred with bisexual actor Helmut Berger.
There's something wrong
You know,
with
Ash
Greg.
Wednesday. The theme.
There's something like really wrong with you, Greg, and it's okay. Go write another book. That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing. Ring the bell for updates. Share the news with your friends and family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you are a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these type of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. And that is what the passion is of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including FayWhat and John Hayden and Gregg Shapiro, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of
and rally against the bill. A Fly Signs employee texted a rally organizer, quote, "We're doing $8 million a year there and don't want to piss off any potential clients that have a problem with that phrase for a one-time flight." Now, by, end quote. By potential clients, I infer that he means narrow-minded, right-wing conservative bigots who may want to advertise their low-rent strip club one day. Safe Schools, who organized the rally, found another banner plane company who actually did fly the message over several large South Florida high schools. Last night's rally on Miami Beach went on as planned and was a success, according to Safe Schools executive director and Happening Out contributor Scott Galvin. You are seeing some of the pictures of this on the screen right now. Today, Galvin and supporters boarded a bus to Orlando to demand that Disney take a stand against Don't Say Gay. They also released this ad. Watch this.
Disney, where do you stand when our youth needs you most? The rights of families in Florida are under attack. The hateful Don't Say Gay bill is threatening our children's security. It's 2022. Kids need knowledge. Depriving them of this is wrong. Corporations are more than their products. They are their values. Disney, you must speak out now and fight back against this discrimination. Publicly oppose the Don't Say Gay bill because the happiest place in the world must have a place for every child.
Now, from gay days to gay-appearing characters, and yes, I'm looking at you, Captain Hook, we generally have a positive impression of Disney. So why put them on blast? Well, they've been notably silent in this debate, and Galvin says, quote, "It's great to be a leader in the easy times. It's another when things are rough and the community needs the support of a juggernaut. You can read my entire story in this week's SFGN online and on stands tomorrow.
So John, so Scott Galvin basically filled a bus and now is on their way up to Orlando, you were saying, to protest there in front of Disney World?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, the protest, it's about a little after 8 right now. So yeah, probably just wrapped up. They left about 1 o'clock this afternoon to head up to Orlando, and we're going to protest out there for like another dusk rally like they did last night in Miami Beach.
Well, first off, I congratulate you and South Florida Gay News. It's very important for our community here to have the in-depth reporting that you're doing and SFGN is doing. And we're very proud to have you here for this story. And you've carried the banner for weeks now, which I appreciate. You know, it's interesting to me about the banner, first off. This company probably has made a big mistake in turning it down because it's going to cost them significantly in terms of this is going to spread now organically and in a viral way, and it's going to harm them and it's going to cost them money. The other thing I think is interesting on Disney, do any of us think Disney is a discriminatory organization? No, of course
really,
not.
no.
It's the largest gay employer in the world. But what this shows is really the ugly side of big corporate America, because they are contributing to Republican candidates. They're not voicing opposition to terrible bills like Don't Say Gay, and it's a reflection of their hedging bets for their business structure. It doesn't mean that they're discriminatory in any way. There's probably, 12,000 LGBT
Gays,
employees there in Orlando. It's really disappointing that Disney just can't say, we flatly reject this.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's no more to discuss. This is wrong. Disney can't seem to do that. And it takes a voice like Safe Schools South Florida to call them out on it, or AHF, who helped fund that commercial, to call them out on it. And they should be called out on it.
Right, they appear to be frozen.
Oh
And
God,
they should
Greg.
be enchanted and engaged.
Oh my God. All right,
Unfortunately, their stance is tangled.
Oh my God, boy,
Please
stop
stay,
it.
hurry.
Oh my
quickly.
God,
Let's
listen.
get to some culture.
Disney, your silence is deafening, all right? We hope to hear from you.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of